88.5 Soufriere 3 minutes after the hour, and this is why I presented with House Guest Edition for today, Thursday, the 9th of April 2026. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you guys. And of course, it's always a pleasure to have you grace us here at Soufriere. Good morning.
Good day.
Morning.
How is everyone?
Well, doing good so far.
So far, Mr. William, how are you?
Well, I'm good.
Like I indicated earlier on, it's always a pleasure to have you guys in the midst of things and, of course, to update the public as to the ongoing tournament. The last we were here, it was very exciting, the conversations we had, and actually coming off that trip where you all were able to actually learn a few lessons, I'm hoping, and then do a lot better. So let me not be the one to do the talking, but introduce yourselves and let us hear it from both of you guys. First of all, the coach himself.
Yeah, morning. Thank you for having us back on air. I think this is my second time or third time, but we felt it necessary to come to let the public know what we've been up to, and then especially our sponsor, let them know what we've been doing in Soufriere basketball. Right now we in kind of in the middle of a season right now, in the middle of the competition right now. We're doing really well. So far, we've only had one loss, but we're looking to repeat this year as champions. So we really want to let the public know, the community of Soufriere, and Canaries and Social know what's going on. So at least we can have a lot more support this year. But we do want to thank everyone who has supported us so far.
Definitely, and that means you're doing a great job as coach.
Thank you very much. Well, the players and make it a lot easy. I mean, they make it easy for me,
Really glad hearing that. And I'm sure our captain is excited as we speak to share the good news with us. He's all smiles.
Well, basically, it's always good to win. And for the past couple of years, we have been winning, and we plan on keeping that trend going on, keep on winning so we can get more youth interested in the sport, because, everyone, no one wants to be part of a losing culture, losing team. So I guess with the work that we are doing now, we are looking to get more youngsters in the fold.
Definitely. And like you said, no one wants to be part of a losing team. I fully agree with you. Just before we get into the nitty gritties, Sheldon Lionel, he indicated, yes, good morning to you as well. And thank you. You're one of our vid listeners. We truly appreciate you as well. Heavy online presence. The atmosphere around the tournament has been incredible, as you both hinted, for sure.
Yeah.
Walk us through what has been happening.
Go ahead, or you want me to? Well, so far this year, like we said, we continued along our trend of winning, but there's a lot of development that we've been looking at. You learn things. You don't for one, you don't just become a champion overnight. So we've been working on every year on different things, different areas where we can improve. I mean, our focus right now is on the local tournament, but we're also focusing on our Creole basketball tournament later this year. And like the captain said, the winning is our ultimate aim, but what we really want to do is to bring awareness to the sport, especially for the young persons coming up. And not just to the sport of basketball. I think I mentioned it here before. One of the things we would really like to see going is also netball. We want to see Soufriere become champions in all aspects of the sport, and we do want to bring awareness to that. And then we want not just our team, but other teams to really develop a, winning culture. It's not easy to develop a culture. It's one thing to win this year and win next year, but to develop a culture where, everybody expects, when you come on this team, you know what you expect. You expect that you're going to be at that level. So you have to do what you need to do to get to that level. And like I've said before, it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy bringing a bunch of, everybody wants to win. The thing is, everybody wants to do it their way. So it's not easy trying to find that one path forward that everyone agrees to. But I think when the time comes and when we really have to, we do find that common ground, and we're very proud to be representing Soufriere and to be champions. I think Soufriere and the environment, we have players from Canaries. So Soufriere and Canaries has always been like, brother and sister when it comes to sports. most, like I said, countries players go to Soufriere Compre. So even countries, so our wins is not just, or what we're trying to develop is not just for ourselves, but also for countries. Because one of the things we would love to see one day is for countries themselves to have their own team. Because back in the days, whether it be football, netball, basketball, the rivalry between Soufriere and countries was also always healthy and vibrant. And that's something we really want to see come back. But so far, I think we have 3 wins. 3 wins and then 1 loss. We lost against the finalists of last year. No excuses. We should have won that game, but like Clayton has said before, there's something to learn in losing also. Because we know what losing is when it comes to Soufriere basketball. We lost a lot prior to us when we started winning. So we learn what we have to learn from losing. But I'm more than confident that this year we could get that.
And it's always good to, and I truly believe it's always good to lose a game so that, because
we get complacent.
If we get complacent and we win all our games, then we'll be like, okay, it's a walk in the park. We don't have nothing to fix. But then when you lose a game, we can go back to a drawing board and fix speak about what you did wrong and then execute the following games to come.
I'm really happy you make a mention of that, Captain. Share with us in terms of the team's performance.
Well, the team, basically I would say that we have the best starting 5 on island. So we have veterans, young players, athletic players, and then the bench players who comes in and does their job as well. So we have a good chemistry, a good bond. So it's not basically, I'm not like one player or one person, but it's a team effort all around. Everyone gets to know the role. The coach, he implements that heavily, that player role, and we will get across the line.
Agreeing to that, I must ask you, I know it's always a team effort. Given the ongoing tournament as well, what would you say would be the most challenging period for you, on the court?
On the court,
I would say the most challenging period is off the court.
Our most challenging off the court.
Because we try to negotiate with the St. Lucia Basketball Federation to get games in Soufriere. I think it's almost like a half and half thing. They have genuine reasons why it's a lot more difficult to get games going in Soufriere. So we had to negotiate with them, and we had to tell them, well, okay, well, we're gonna have to raise the prize money, which they did. But for us, the most challenging thing is having to go up to the Bonsejour indoor facility every time to play. It's difficult. It's tasking on your body. We have persons like Clayton. Imagine you come from work, you just finish an 8-9 hour shift customs, or we have a lot of players who work at the hotel. We have one of our main players is actually a PE teacher, and then you have to travel 2 hours, to Bonsejour, and then you have to step on the court, and then you still have to perform. We would have loved to have games in Soufriere, and I think probably one of these conversations we need to have again with the powers that be, where indoor facility is concerned. I think it's high time Soufriere has its own indoor facility, because one of the good things about Soufriere is that it rains a lot. One of the bad things about Soufriere is that it rains a lot. So that is the challenge that we are facing. I don't know, the powers that be, if they're listening, we really need to consider an indoor facility. I believe if we had an indoor facility in Soufriere, we could have made a stronger case to the St. Lucia Basketball Federation that, we could.
Basically, it wouldn't be a stronger case. It would automatically, we would have games in Soufriere, because in talks with the president, he is advocating for us to get an indoor facility in Soufriere. But to answer the question, the coach is not on the court. Yeah. I'm not on the court. So, I mean, well, again, it's sometimes on the court, it's managing egos. That's the biggest issue on the court, managing egos. And I guess, as the coach might attest, that I'm not the calmest person on the court, especially when things are going wrong. Although we might be winning, but I'm like a perfectionist, so I like to see everything happen. We might be winning 20 points and something happens on the court, I will
develop bad habits.
So then it's just some egos that's the biggest challenge on the court.
Thank you for sharing, for sure. And I can actually add with that, as much as, well, I'm not again, but then as much as you want to win, there were a lot of hindrances as well. And highlighting your point, coach, where it rains a lot in Soufriere, which is a good thing, and it's also a bad thing.
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes put your best foot forward against all odds.
Right.
And I'm happy you guys have had a winning streak despite one loss. You will continue, to dominate. With that being said, we have Sheldon actually is asking, how big is the sport on island? Any pathway to become a professional baller? How many athletes do you have?
Well, right now we have one player from St. Lucia who was born and raised in St. Lucia, who is actually playing in a university. I'm not too sure, but I think he's D1 in Noah Boyd. But there are a lot of hindrances which will affect St. Lucia basketballers from. But in talks with the president, he's really trying to get connections with the likes of Chris Boucher, who was St. Lucian Heritage, Terrence Mann. So yeah, but it's difficult because you coming from a small island where you might pick up a ball at 12, 13, secondary school. So, and these guys out there who picks up a ball at 5, 6, the parents train them at 5, 6. So it's a tougher task, but I guess we have talent in St. Lucia. We can do it. It's just some little hindrances that keeps a lot of us away from it. Although we had JC Saltibus, who went to Antigua last
semi-pro.
Yeah, semi-pro a couple of years ago. Yeah, but that's basically.
I think we have a female from Canaries.
Oh yeah, Megan Nestor. She used to play netball actually, but then when she went over to meet a parent, she started playing basketball, and she's now one of the best.
Yeah, I think she plays Division 1 basketball, and for those who are not too aware with the in the States, when you play for college, there's levels to the competition, and Division 1 would be the highest level that you would play. And I think by the looks of it, she might go to the WNBA.
Right.
So that should be our first solution, I think. But let's look at it when the process we went to with track. We had a lot of difficulty early on. We had a lot of talent, and we couldn't get that talent to where they could be seen overseas. And now it's pretty easy now. If you are talented and you have that ability to get a track scholarship and actually run for the Olympics, Julian Alfred. So we hoping and we praying that basketball is on the same trajectory, that the time will come where, basketball players will be a normal thing going to the Division 1 colleges and also going to the NBA. So it's just a matter of time, I think. Despite the challenges, I think eventually it's just a matter of time before we get a St. Lucian-born player. Because I think St. Vincent had one. St. Vincent, one player that actually went to the NBA. So I guess it's just a matter of time before we get one player right there,
I hope it's from Soufriere.
Yeah, we hoping it's from Soufriere. We hoping our player is from Soufriere.
Yes, for sure. We hope this answers your question, Sheldon, for sure. And if maybe you may have other concerns, feel free right here to place on our platform, and the experts are right here. They will be able to present you with the necessary answers to that. So, Coach Junior, how would you assess the team's progress and development during this tournament?
I would say that the development has been coming along really well. In as much as, like the captain said, we are winners, but winning doesn't come easy. And for me personally, as a coach, my outlook on the game is not necessarily a 1 year outlook. I more look at it as culture. We want to develop a culture, and you don't develop culture in 1 year. We want I'm looking at it and I want to bring the team to a place that any and everybody who seeks to come in will already meet an environment of excellence. And I think that's the word we really want to get, an environment of excellence, because coming in, you cannot change everything in 1 year. There were some, issues we dealt with at the first year, we and there were other issues we couldn't deal with in year 1. And there were issues we dealt with in year 2, and what we want, as long as you don't go into another year dealing with the same issues from last year, that's what we don't want. So for the issues we've left for the third year, there are issues that we're dealing with right now. We're saying, okay, no more. We need to find a solution to that. So we don't want next year to be finding, year 3 issues into year 4. So for me, it's a long-term plan where the team is concerned. I guess for the captain, you more or less look at it as, well, I know he looks at it long-term also, but the main responsibility is for the coach to look at this team and say, okay, we're looking at 4-5 years down the line. Because one of the things I've noticed with a lot of the other teams is that they don't really have replacement players. They have players who 15 years they've been playing, starting for that team. And I'm like, but where's the new talent? How do you incorporate new, younger players to continue the excellence? And I think that's one of the good things about this team, that when the time comes that my older players, I know I will not have that issue with them, because they're all about winning. And like I always tell them, my starters have remained the same for the last 3 years. But if anybody is willing to put in the work and willing to be better than any of my starters, I would have no problem changing any of my starters. But so far, nobody has yet to really rise to that challenge. So we don't want to make it a situation where 15 years down the line is the same starting 5. Now, we want to make sure that the younger players are better than the players that we have right now. And that is how eventually we're going to get a player to the NBA.
Thank you. And even adding to that as well, what strategies would you really say that you have implemented that works well for the Soufriere Kings this far?
Well, one of these strategies like I say, one of the things I've said to younger players is that here is the pathway to get better. You cannot get better in game. You cannot come to the court, play, and get better. You have to do the work on your own. And that's how my starters got to where they are. You have to be able to take your own private time and come and do the work that is necessary, the work that nobody is going to see you doing. And that's how you're going to get better. So I've issued a challenge to them. If you can work on your game, if you can show me that you are better than any of my 5 starters, I would be more than happy to replace them. Because I mean, my starters would be like, but he's better than me. They would know he's better than him. So, and they want to win. So if I'm a starter and there's a player that's better than me, that's going to make sure that we win or raise our winning percentage, why wouldn't I want to allow that player? But like I said, so far nobody has really risen to the challenge. But we're hoping that between this year and next year, that somebody can rise to that challenge.
Sitting here and actually hearing that conversation, you speak with a lot of passion. Especially, you love what you do.
Yeah, we both have a lot of passion.
How are you even able to balance everything, knowing you're a family man as well?
Well, kudos. I always give credit to my wife. Initially, when I started, I wasn't as serious as I was supposed to be. And one of the things she told me is that as a man, you gave your word that you're gonna do this, and you need to make sure that you do it, because at the end of the day, it's one thing to tell my kids, stick with it and do this and do that, and good will come, and then I have to model it to them. The captain does likewise. So it's a balance. It's a sacrifice. I mean, all the players, we all have to sacrifice something. The captain has to sacrifice a lot, and a lot of the players have to sacrifice so much. Yes, the captain does so much for the team, and that's why he's the captain. He's the one who gets us ready for the season. Gets everything ready. When we go to the Creole basketball tournament, everything is in order, and so it's a sacrifice for everybody. But it's my pleasure to do the little that I can for this team.
Captain William, your sentiments as well. You juggle work, and you still find time for basketball.
Well, again, like you said, it's passion. I wasn't the best at basketball. I won't lie. When I started in Form 1, I wasn't the best. I was overlooked plenty times. But again, the heart that I have, the passion that I have, got me leading this team, which I am proud of. And I I do not want to see it go down the drain. So, like the coach said, if there's someone who will want, or well, not want, because everybody wants, but who is ready to take my spot, I will let it go. But other than that, I'm still putting the work. Every morning I'm on the court before I go to work. So I guess it's the passion and the love.
By nice words, huh?
Yes, actually.
Share with me in terms of community spirit, community support. And the last conversation we've had actually, where the games are out of Soufriere, definitely you do not get that crowd support. Has anything changed to date?
Well, again, I guess if the games were in Soufriere, would have, because when the games are in Soufriere, we do get support, a lot of support. Last year at the finals, the semi-finals, we got extra buses. At the finals, we had we got free buses, but we still had people who we had to get last minute buses because Soufriere people love sports. So it's just getting up to Beauséjour, it will be a tough ask. So I guess maybe if we can get an indoor facility in Soufriere, we might have a lot more support, because we were playing against a team from Gozile, and our fan base was larger than the fan base at the finals last year. So I guess it's just getting the right environment in Soufriere so we can get support. But I know there's a lot of people who follow Soufriere basketball.
Now, just to add to that, when we do get to the finals against that team, one of the things that always happens is that the fans from all the other teams tend to support us.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
energy makes the difference.
Yeah,
no, because I interact with most of the other players, the coaches from, and they do not like each other. So when we play with, well, that's what they get, because most of the teams are from up north. So then they have that rivalry. So then you might get, but I guess, like you said, the energy as well, because if we have most of the fans, people will naturally.
Definitely. And the fact that you made a mention of having the other teams and basically from up north, what do you think really sets the Soufriere Kings apart from the others?
I think it's a long-standing innate thing in Soufrierians to we have something in us that and it comes from a place a lot of teams up north and they like to look down on us because we're from Soufriere. You know, back in the days when they used to call you country bookie and whatnot. So
Yes.
you know, and even when it comes to opportunities, sometimes we are overlooked in Soufriere, especially in sports, when the national teams are concerned or whatnot, we are sometimes overlooked. You know, so we have that ego about us. That we're from Soufriere, but we will come from Soufriere and we'll still win the national tournament, and there's a satisfaction, and I know it's every player feels that. There is that satisfaction. It don't matter what sports you've played for Soufriere, there is that satisfaction when you can go on the national stage and win, you know, at that level, you know.
Share with me what it's like at those games, the networking, the chemistry, and of course, basking in the wins, both from a coach and a captain standpoint.
No, go ahead.
It might be overly exciting for the captain himself, and the coach will know, yes, I put in the work and we did it, you know.
Well, you answered the question. you actually answered the question.
Yeah,
but networking basically started from 24 when we won the first. I got in contact with some a Dominican. He's the coach of the national team. Then when we went over to Dominica, I got in contact with a Guadeloupean and a Martinican. That's why we went to Martinique last year. And whilst at these games, well, the standing coach at the time, I think he got in contact with some of the other coaches, the owners of these clubs, because these clubs has owners, actual owners. I got in contact with some of the players as well, got the Instagram, the French guys, most of them speak English. So networking, I'll say it's coming along. It's coming along.
Yeah, from the coach's perspective, one of the most difficult teams to manage is a winning team. And I say that because sometimes I don't know if it's subconsciously they know that they're good. They know that they are so good. Sometimes it's difficult to get them up.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because I can say that now. I remember there was the last game about the regular season last year. I can never forget that. To me, I just felt like the team has got into a place that they just started becoming so complacent. Like they just know they. So I think we played. It was a group of very young schoolboys, and I think we lost that game by 1 point. And I was kind of happy we lost it. And then because what happened, it kind of woke them up. They were like, I don't know if they were just a little embarrassed or whatever, but he did the trick. He got them ready for the playoffs. And from there, it was just smooth sailing. So sometimes when you winning, like it's hard sometimes, like they come and it's hard to get them up for the competition. And sometimes what happens is that they end up playing down to the level of the lower competition. Instead of keeping what they know to be their norm, they end up playing down to the level of the lower competition. But at the end of the day, we're not going to foster a culture of losing. But that's the challenge as a coach sometimes, managing a championship team. People think it's all based on, flowers and roses when you're managing a championship team. I think sometimes you have even bigger issues because you have that complacency that can set in, and you have to find new ways and imaginative ways to actually get them, going. But one of the other good things that's happening now is that, like he used to talk about roles, we're trying to expand the roles for different players and also change some of the roles, because we have a new player we added from a couple of new players we added from last year. But shout out to one of the main ones, Raekwon. He's been a big addition for us, and he has enabled us to be able to change things around. He's given us more options, and we're exploring these options this year.
Wow. Thank you so much for the sharing. 10:30 a.m. in Surface Solution, of course, the Eastern Caribbean. It's been interesting for those of you who are just joining us. Say good morning. Soufriere Kings basketball team, and they're basically informing us of the ongoing tournament. I must implore, Coach. Earlier on in the conversation, you spoke of wanting to grow the team, and we think it's fair enough actually to start from the young, the nurturing, and from the grassroots. But then again, given what we see the trend with delinquent behavior and what some of the youngsters are involved in, how easy would that be for you to actually be able to serve that purpose?
I mean, I would expect there to be some challenges, but I think there's still more that we can do as a team, especially social media is always a tool. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. So I think one of the things we need to really expand also is our social media presence. So at least young people can be, up to date what exactly we're doing, but hopefully in the future, I'm hoping that we could at least expand, especially in the number of teams or even a female team, but we will have to put in the work for that. It takes a lot of work to actually get programs like that off the ground and get it going.
Definitely. And for your teammates, what we have to look at personality. We all come to the game with different personalities, and sometimes that may get in the way of a good winning streak. How are you able to motivate? How are you able to? Sometimes you have to mentor as well. Sometimes you have to provide that much needed guidance, especially before going on to a game. How it works, how the magic happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've been the captain for the past 3 years. I think I have understood most of my players. I think I've understood most of them. So I know how to get under the skin. I know how to get them going. I know what to say to them. Sometimes it might come out not too good because, well, it might not come out good. It's my purpose to say to them that way. I know who to approach in different mannerisms, but it gets the job done. So
Yeah, I think I can just add to that as a coach. Yeah, it's when you're dealing with different personalities, you have players with different backgrounds and different. You have to adjust for each and every player. So for me personally, it's been a growing process. Even having to improve on how I communicate because we have different players of different generations. The way I could communicate something to the captain and probably we have older players like Lindsay and it doesn't work for the younger players, and I've been learning that slowly but surely. So delivery sometimes change it based on what generation you're speaking to, But like Clayton said, at least we get the job done at the end. Everybody understands.
Definitely. Looking ahead, what tactics you think you would want to include for better team management, both coach and captain? What would you like to see happen on the take 2026 moving along?
well,
Everything is great.
No.
everything is not great. Everything isn't great. But like the coach has been, it's a process. So there's not much that we have to get going. Maybe a little more training, but with that, there are guys who works at the hotel, so there are guys who has a different lifestyles.
So do you
But
think maybe the system for training needs to be revisited?
I think the solution to is a lot more of persons. I mean, when they have the time, like Clayton does before he goes to work, he comes on the court and he works on his game. I think that's the solution for players to, when they have that free time, to go and do that work on their own. Because when we come for team training, that's not the time to be teaching players individualized skills. These are the skills they're supposed to take their time on their own and to improve. I mean, you have YouTube, that you have social media that'll teach you everything the right way. I think that's one of the things we really want to see improve. Players taking their time, their own private time to improve on their craft, just like the captain is doing.
Okay, thank you. And who will do the follow-up for that process to ensure that everybody's on the same page? Definitely.
when you come at team training, we
That's how
we
it's going to be
assess.
monitored and evaluated.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well,
yes, we know, we see the difference. We see
Okay.
because from last year, from the first year, I guess,
Yeah.
we have been talking about rotating players, but then it was hindrances because there was a major gap. When
Skills
somebody
gap, yeah,
from the
there's a
starting
major
five
skills
goes
gap.
off, you'll find a major gap, major problem. But then gradually, we had a tournament, a local tournament, sometime last year.
Yeah.
We saw improvement in some players. So I guess that Nick Chubetskoy tournament was a good implementation for Soufriere Kings. I hope we can get another one this year so that we can foster or bring in new young players that we will see, or even those now who is part of the team, that they get better, they could show the skill, the talent, and so that we can foster it and bring it forward.
Yeah.
Great. You partly answered my next question. Do you think the Soufriere Kings, or even the basketball team itself, is being shown? Like, is the spotlight placed on you guys? Yes, you mentioned about the tournament, the Chubetskoy
Right.
tournament. That's one aspect of it. But do you think enough recognition is being given for all the hard work, the blood, the sweat, and tears that is going into the tournament before and after? Yes, I know some persons have been honored, the Youth and Sports Council, but then do you think enough support is even being given? Do you all have a strong support system as well?
Well, I
You're free to try.
yesterday, yesterday, like Imagine yesterday I was saying that to someone.
Oh wow.
The fact that you get the other sports like football, cricket getting more attention.
There's a
That's
hype
crazy.
That's our fuel as well.
Yeah.
That's it's my fuel. I don't know if it's the other, but that is our fuel. That's what gets us winning under the microscope and always bring a championship in. Last year we did get recognized by the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation.
Yes, they do.
But that's basically.
But don't get us wrong. We love our brothers in football and cricket. But
because that was
to the champions goes the spoils, and we are champions right now, so we deserve the spoils of war. You know, so we're gonna say that out to the Phrase One Sports Council. Hopefully, I mean, God willing, we'll be 3-time champions, 3 in a row. We would have repeated. So I think if that does happen, we do deserve what comes along with that. You know, we know football is a lot more popular. You know, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
But the Soufriere Sports Council, they do support.
Yeah, they do.
They do support. But I think I'm not sure is the SLBF who doesn't do a great job at advertising or whatnot, or to get people attracted to come to the games. Although we do have a Facebook page, try to post a couple of stuff there when we have games or not. But again, I do not expect everyone to want to come up to Bosejo every game. So that's understandable.
Yeah, it's like an out of sight, out of mind situation.
Factor might be the game location.
Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So you know.
Sheldon is asking, do you think more young people are engaging even as spectators?
Well, I just answered that. I just answered that. But when there are games in Soufriere, even the local tournament where, like previously said, the past Nick Jubet, there were a lot of youngsters at the court enjoying the game of basketball.
You made mention of the championship and actually the repeat. Your eyes are set on that. Strategies are being put in place on the field for that. Bringing it home is one thing, and then the mindset sometimes is different. And I would love for you guys to bring it home as well and get that recognition just as football.
Yeah, well, the strategy this year, like the captain is saying, we're confident in our starting 5. So we balancing the championship with also continuity. So this year, I think we've been making more use of our up and coming players. You know, you have to find that balance between the win and giving them that playing time experience. And I think it's been working out well this year. As long as we can come out with the win, we're not too focused on the point differential, although it does matter, but we're not too focused on that. We want that to win, but at the same time, we really focus on player development, because the captain and these older players, they're not going to be around forever. So we're finding that right balance this year. But of course, our first and foremost priority is the win.
And to add to that, when these guys get on the court and we are on the bench, we get more rest. So when we go back into the game, we have more energy to be more effective. So that is strategy this year, just getting the starters more of a breather.
Okay. Could you, for persons who actually are listening, could you share with us in terms of the conclude period for the tournament as well, and if you have any off-island games?
The period, the local tournament stretches off to June
27th. Yeah. Well, we are going to make the top 4, so we will be in the semifinals. We are going to reach the finals.
Yeah.
But it's a best of 3 series. The semifinals and the finals are best of 3 series. So June 27th, which is a game if necessary, which will not be happening. So I think June 25th. So it's 2 games. It's a game every other day. So I think it's a Saturday, Wednesday, and the following Saturday. So the tournament started in April,
February.
no, March,
Yeah.
and it will be a break for jazz, and from there we go on to June. And overseas games, well, every year, well, we are already invited to the
Creole
Creole
basketball.
Basketball Championships, which might be it depends on the amount of teams. We might be having games in St. Lucia. If not, we might be going over to Martinique or Guadeloupe. Dominica is still in the fold, but not sure about. But I guess that's it for overseas games.
Thank you. And I think as well, like you indicated earlier on, some heavy presence that should be seen, social media platforms and
Yes.
experts as to what is happening as well. And even maybe the hype from different snippets, clips and
Yes.
stuff, even the players themselves on their starters and sending, sharing. And like I can always avail
Yes.
my platform as well to come and update the public, which is not a problem at all. In your world of work, captain and coach, what you admire the most with your players?
No, what you admire? Well, for me personally, as the coach,
You love to grill them, huh?
yeah, the will to win. The will to win. I mean, despite of all the challenges we're gonna have, right? Despite of all the differences in attitude and despite the different backgrounds, despite whatever comes, these fellas want to win. I think that's what we all have in common. That will to win, and I mean, sometimes it gets how you win. Sometimes is the issue. We need to decide on how we're going to win. But I can always say that the will to win is very strong with this team, and especially those of us that are old enough to remember year after year this team going on to that national tournament and losing in the semifinals. We remember those bus rides, those quiet bus rides back to Soufriere. We remember everything that is done. We remember those games, those losing games, and that's what keeps fueling us right now. So I think it's not just us; it's just a Soufriere, mindset. If we're gonna do anything, we want to win. We want to win.
In my model of disciplining,
Yeah.
I love disciplining these guys, although they do not like it, but I love doing it.
Okay. What are apart from, like you mentioned, winning is important for sure, but what other expectations you have for that tournament?
Well, developing the youngsters and using that tournament to prepare for the Creole basketball, because this tournament has many more games. We play, well, it's supposed to be home and away, but actually we don't have a home. So we play more games that will get us mentally, physically, and game ready. So when we go back out to Creole Basketball Championship later in the year.
Okay, definitely. Speaking of game ready, how in terms of, I know you're heavy on sponsorship as well, especially Plain of Island. How does it work? Because are there, in terms of hosting fundraisers to get that much needed financial assistance? How do you all raise the funds?
Well, the first year we went, we wrote to different entities. And Chasney Jade Mountain is always a
Very big sponsor.
big sponsor to us. The other businesses in Soufriere, we wrote to them. Last year, we undertook a raffle, and then the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation matched our work and our efforts, and that's what got us. This year, We are planning on having a bingo. So just putting this out there that we are planning to have a bingo, and we hope that we know some people love bingo, so we hope that they come to support us to help us on our way to our overseas game.
Okay, apart from the bingo, would there be any other events as well to host the fans?
There might be.
Yeah,
There might be.
yeah. We have been thinking and saying like we don't want it to be, because most teams who goes the fet route, they end up being a fet team after. So so we try to stay away from that, because we understand that this is the most lucrative way
Way of raising
to
funds.
raising funds, but we're trying to stay away from it as much as possible.
Okay,
So we're trying other ways to raise funds.
that's understandable. Do you see the Soufriere Kings actually going all out this year, 2026?
We do, from a coach perspective, we do, because technically the Creole basketball tournament, we not. I think one other thing we should point out, it's almost like we're the national team going into that Creole basketball tournament when we do go, and that's really kudos to us. It's almost like we're representing Saint Lucia now when we go to that Creole basketball tournament, not just Soufriere. Yeah.
Sorry about that. What is the question again?
What if you see us going all out this year?
Oh yeah, well, I've been doing the work that I'm putting in actually on my own is because of the losses that I took over there, and I'm somebody I do not like losing. Well, no one's like losing. No one likes losing, but it hurts me that I know that these guys, speaking to them, they train every day. They have indoor facilities, so they train every day. And we do not train every day, and we competed with these guys. We did compete, actually being down 20 at a half and coming back and leading the game. But it was too much that they actually won by one. And these are training teams.
Yeah, almost semi-professional
It's
teams.
almost, some of these guys are played in France, and we competed with these guys. So I was even thinking of not playing the national competition, give myself some, but I guess I went otherwise. I decided to play to save the team, but my ultimate goal is winning that Creole basketball championship. Yeah. That's my ultimate goal. Like before, it was wanting to win the national tournament,
yeah.
But doing that, then now I'm seeing like there is another step. Maybe that's when I will actually retire. When I actually win.
Yeah. Before we close, actually, your perspective, coach and captain, of course, what do you envision for the year ahead?
Well, like I said, winning. We are a team, a basketball team, so the goal is getting this year, winning, developing young players, and getting other youngsters wanting to play basketball, being part of that basketball family, because we are a family, because we are very small. We do not have 100 and something like the footballers. So we are family. Anytime you with us, you are part of a family. So then we would like younger players to come in the fold, like guys who, although we do not have a program, but if you do come by on the court, you will get mentorship. We do not chase anyone off the court. We do get mentorship. I did try to start a program, but then work changed for me, so I do not have the time to. But if you come on the court, you will get mentorship from any player who's there, I guess, because that's how we brought them in. We never chased them. We had them come play with us, teaching them the right things, to do and stopping some bad habits. And then, so I guess I've seen it happen. I've seen some of the younger guys help those who come to the court. So that's basically the envision for this year. Try to get more people involved in basketball.
Yeah. Well, other than winning, I think one of the things we really want to do this year, we want to. The thing about sports is that the lessons you learn on the court or on the field, you're gonna also apply it to your normal life. You know, so we want to first start with developing that level of excellency where the sport is concerned, but we want it to bleed into our players' personal lives. Okay. For the most part, our players are when it comes to the community, are very disciplined. I remember we've had probably one player, I will not mention names, but for me personally as a coach, I chose not to add him to the team despite many requests. And at the end of the day, your life off the court has to represent, the values we're teaching you on the court. So for me personally as a coach, and we're not perfect, but at the end of the day, if you and I tell my players that every year, if you're representing Soufriere, you have to understand that's a very serious commitment. Population of Soufriere is what now? Almost 20,000 people. So you're representing almost 20,000 people. So not just what you do on the court matters, what you do off the court matters. You know, that's one of the things we really want to push this year. We want to push that kind of discipline, you know, like Clayton said, that mentorship role. So basketball is life for us, but there's a lot you learn in basketball. There's a lot you learn in sports that will apply, and you can apply to your own private life. Yeah, so that's one of the things we really want to do. And I must say, most of my senior players, when it comes to their life off the court, they are very, I must say, they're not perfect, but I would say they are well-respected members of their community. They're not people that you can actually point to. Forget interpersonal things, but when it comes to their standing in the community, they are very well-respected persons, and persons that you can look up to and say, okay, you can follow certain things from them.
Thank you for that, and I'm sure everything had to do with the work that was put in by both the coach and the captain as well. You know, just before we wrap up, curiosity for persons who are interested in actually maybe joining that team, or even ready to get, if they within themselves they believe that they have the skills, or they actually go at the hopes and they want to come in for some sort of training, how do they go about doing that? They can reach out to the captain, the coach, team members. Speak to me in terms of the process for interested persons.
Well, we trading.
Well,
You can come in any of our trading days, Mondays,
Yeah.
Wednesdays, Saturdays.
What's the age criteria?
well, that is the hindrance that we have, because most of us work. So, and
Well, just have them come around,
So
come
yes,
around, come around,
that-
come
Would
around.
it be easier to have like maybe just a Sunday?
We do trade Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So any of these days, you come to the court, realize we trading. You can come around. You can come around. You can learn from just watching.
Yeah.
And then how old can someone be?
I won't say
that is where I was going at. Because there are,
It's tricky.
if you're gonna start at 7, 8, you need like a specialized person
training.
with these kids, getting them. But if like you 11, 12,
Yeah, primary school age. Yeah.
you could come around the court. Like I said, the guys, the way we brought them in, I believe they will be willing to teach. To be like, it will not be specific training like you might have for a 7-year-old, but if you think like you can make the team, there is always a spot, I guess. Just come around, maybe watch. You might be invited, because when we train, we do basics as well. We do layups, and we might stop and teach somebody. So we can do that if primary school
player, yeah, or primary school age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but to have to push, but anything below 11, you need a specific coach, like Mr. Giggs is doing with the football, but we do not have that liberty. And like I said, I did start about a couple years ago, but then life changed for me. So I don't know if anyone of the, and most of the guys who actually play basketball have
Work also,
worked.
yeah.
So
Or maybe you could put it out there, persons who are skilled in that area and are willing to work with that particular age group can
yeah,
definitely contact
they,
you
they,
guys.
they could, and then maybe I could, because I do have a couple drills that I used to do with the youngsters. So if anyone wants to actually take it up, they could contact me. I can always hand them the good book.
And
Yeah.
they need
I can hand them the good book,
to be serious
and then
for sure.
and then I could always, even if you do not know about basketball, I could always come and evaluate every time. And yeah, but
And there's a lot you can learn online on your own.
yeah,
also.
yeah, you could. Yeah.
There's a lot you can learn online on your own.
It is now a minute to the hour of 11 a.m. in Surface Nation. Of course, the Eastern Caribbean, though I may not have the knowledge as far as basketball is concerned, it's been an interesting conversation, and I'm really excited to see that female team when it gets put together. I'll definitely come and support that. So, as we wrap up, any shout outs, final words?
You know?
Well, I would like to shout out the present sponsors, the likes of the Social Credit Union, the Forces Credit Union, Honorable Emma Hippolyte,
Chocolat.
Hotel Chocolat,
Yeah.
Sugar Beach,
You want
that's
some?
far this is. But we have other persons who have said that they will be helping us financially, because that's one of our biggest hindrances as well, financial support. Well, not support, but getting finances, because of the traveling that we have to. That's one cost that takes a lot. So I guess
So we have more games this year. I think.
yeah, we have double a game because we are playing 2 games away, and we try to make everybody happy. So
Yeah.
we get refreshments for our players as well. So if anyone, I guess, wants, sorry, but Frank Solution Rental as well, I have to sponsor. Shout him out. Shout out to this Soufriere Kings team. I don't know if you all are listening, but we are going to do great things this year for sure.
All right. For me as a coach, we would like to, especially, well, that's really the reason why we're here, to let the super people know that we are representing you all well where the national tournament is concerned. And for us, it's the traveling is an issue for us, so we can imagine what it is for persons in Soufriere. But like the captain said, the competition will be coming to a close sometime at the end of June. So we're really hoping for persons to make plans. I mean, you don't have to come to, probably the semi-final games, but let's start making plans to come to. It's a best-of-3 series. If we can, God willing, God on our side, if we can wrap it up in the first 2 games. But we want to let people know in advance. Make it a vibe, make it a trip with your family. If we can get that support this year at the Boseju in the facility, somewhere to the end of June, hopefully we can bring a 3rd championship to Soufriere. That would really be good if we can get that support, because we do miss you all, having to standing there celebrating a championship and looking around and not seeing, that kind of support. And it can happen. Probably a lot of people might be mad at me. We all travel for Balakat, so it shouldn't be an issue traveling for basketball. So it's not an issue of traveling.
It's actually cheaper to enter the basketball arena. It's only $5. So
yeah, so if you can go all the way to Grosile and support the Soufriere team for Black Hat, the Soufriere football team for Black Hat, you can do the same for the Soufriere basketball team. And at the end of the day, we are the ones winning right now. So to the victor goes the spoils.
I agree with that, and also more hype needs to be created around
Yes.
the team as well.
We
And
will.
players.
As a matter of fact, from our, we have on Friday, we have a back-to-back. As a matter of fact, we'll be actually going to the indoor facility on Friday to play Codjets, and then on Saturday we'll be coming back to play Mon.
We have raised the bar so high that Codjet team actually merged. Two teams merged.
Avengers, they form Avengers just to beat us.
So we raised the bar so high that two teams had to merge to try to get that title away from us. But I still don't see it happening. So.
Yeah, that's an objective futility. So, yeah.
Thank you. On that note, this is where we, if anything else, final commendations, and we wrap up today's discussion.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you for inviting us here today. It will not be our last, I guess. We will try to be here before the semi-finals to give an update on our standings and when the games will be played. But again, thank you.
Yeah, definitely we'll be back before the finals. I think, like you said, partly it's our fault in terms of the letting people know what's going on. So we're going to work on that where the social media is concerned. But we will be back just before the finals. So at least people will know that when the games are and whatnot, so that those who can will make the effort to support us.
On that note, 4 minutes after 11 a.m. in Surface and Lucian Eastern Caribbean, this has been the Soufriere Kings basketball coach and, of course, captain, providing updates on the ongoing tournament. And, of course, we're encouraging the public, persons who are able to go up to the Bossejou ground and
Friday.
8
o'clock. Friday and Saturday we have back-to-back games
to support, and they did make a mention of it's only $5
to enter.
$5 to enter. Only $5 to enter. Thank you so much to Sheldon Lionel who sent in his concerns. We hope, of course, they were met, and to all our online listeners as well who keenly took the time to listen, though they may not send in their comments or concerns on Radio Land, especially. Thank you. This is where we end today's edition of House Guests, Thursday, the 9th of April, 2026. Until next time, have yourself a productive day.